sort of looking for, you know, comps to get them through the early and mid game so that they can try and cap out with the big stuff, cap out with the dragons. It does surprise me a little bit that Scalescorn is not has not been a choice by anyone that we saw in those first two lobbies.
I think the point is, similar to the Dragon Mancers, you want to have Scalescorn emblems, right? You want to get to 6 Scalescorn to really bring it online. Otherwise, it's going to be very hard. Enough? I think not. No. Unfortunately not. I'd love it to be strong enough, but I think at the current point in meta, if you want to have a chance against those really, really strong boards, it's going to be very hard with 4 Scalescorns. But we'll see. Maybe I'm going to eat my words. I'd love to. I'd love to see some more Scalescorns.
We've all got to do that at least once per night, you know, just to keep things fair. But yeah, you're right. Like chucking the Scalescorn emblem on a Nila or on a Siphon sometimes as well, I think can definitely revolutionize that comp a little bit. And if you're moving up towards the big jump in power, I think it's 50% magic damage to 100% magic damage, something like that when you go up to 6 Scalescorn, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I think 6 is where the sweet spot for that comp really is at. We're gonna see how that goes. I've seen like some double trouble boards with Scalescorn, which was a surprise to me because double trouble always screams Darkflight to me, especially with the way Darkflight is at the moment. But that could also still be an option if somebody is very brave and wants to go there. But for now, we're gonna go through the motions of the first PvE rounds, picking up some extra items, and then the first augments. How do you feel, Genome, about prismatic augments?
Ooh, see, I feel like I am more of like the for fun player, right? So I love prismatic augments in terms of you know, there's some cool ones that just like you know, change the game up a lot more than anything else does, like Curse Crown, for instance.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. Just quickly, as we're looking at Yush's options here, and you got to remember, Chaos was really calling out Yush as someone who was going to do well, and obviously he's been doing that so far, sitting at rank 3. Okay. He's going to choose the second wind there. How do you feel that stacked up against some of those other augments? I quite like Hallucinate, and we have had our admins also tell us that it is Pirate's Greed in this game. And I've got to say, if I get a chance to start stacking up those chests, I will absolutely take it.
Yes, so I think Pirate's Greed is really good to get those chests out, get the extra gold early mid-game, give you extra economy. We all love the coin, but Hallucinate in a Pirates game, I don't know. However, something else is going on, Genome.
Oh man, have a look at the other board we've come up against here. Kade, my pick for the day, who has been doing very well, is, I mean, you know, purely through skill, of course, has had a fantastic start to the game here with the Goldmancer's staff.
That's Omni's boy.
Oh, sorry,
so
Omni.
Kade and Omni both on your skill angle. Interesting.
Right. Yeah, okay, double, yeah, because I saw someone call it out. One of our other casters called that out.
Here's Kade, and we just saw Omni. Both of them have that Goldmancer staff on their board as option. We just saw Kade re-equip it from the Kaisa to a Karma, but I mean, that's gonna give them a little bit of extra money and of course change the trajectory of that lobby, right?
Yeah, well, because it kind of does two things, right? Like, not only does it give them that extra gold at the start, it's kind of almost like a better, you know, Pirate's Greed or a better Astral in some ways, because you're getting like value on the board out of it in terms of like extra damage, but you're also getting that eco value out of it, assuming you know, that you're winning a fight and killing some units.
And we are currently on Erin's matchup here. There's something I love seeing, but I also hate seeing it right now. And Erin does have that cluttered mind, but not a full bench, so missing out on the extra XP, a little bit unfortunate.
All right, now we have a look at Huey Louie. All right, he's got the Darkflight Emblem already, so, and yeah, look, he's found an early Rengar, got, you know, a decent item to stack that with at the start, so the Darkflight Essence already coming into play here.
Yeah, Darkflight Essence being printed onto the Rengar. Love seeing that. Obviously not gonna buy out anything as of right now, doesn't need it. And I think it's gonna do really well. Another Cluttered Mind player coming through here. Obo on Cluttered Mind as well. This lobby is going to be very speedy, very fast. We have 2 players who are printing gold. We have 2 players who are accelerating in XP. And everybody else will just be scrambling to basically catch up and stay with those 4 players. So that's probably the biggest key point for the lobby as of right now. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, the tempo of the lobby accelerating in multiple directions right now. It's going to be a very interesting one. I mean, like, you were talking about, you asked me that question about prismatic augments before, and I feel like we're almost kind of getting that feel in this lobby, even though we had the gold augment to start with, because that's often what the prismatic changes can do, right? Like, you can just get huge swings in terms of, you know, either, you know, some kind of tempo that your augment is giving, or board strength, or XP if it's, you know, say a March of Progress, something like that. And it kind of feels like with these Goldmancer staffs here and some high rolling we've got going on, Cluttered Mind, that kind of is playing out in this lobby here in our game 3.
Oh, I love that. So Ubu has picked up the Mirage as well. So not only getting those extra XP every single round, but also gold. So that is probably one of the best positions you could be in right now. Obviously, the board itself is nothing too fancy, but with the Wukong 2 that has 2 items, it should do well enough to not give him big losses, if losses. So really, really lovely to see that come through here. Perfect alignment of trades and augment, and is going to give him a big jump start into the mid-range.
Yeah, a little bit of, you know, he's probably not going to be committing to it, right? But just, you know, a little bit of Bonky Kong to start with here from Obo. And yeah, as you say, decent all-round, yeah, with the Mirage Warrior and Guardian activated. Unfortunately, did take that loss before the carousel, so he can't streak all the way into neutrals. But I mean, if he gets there with 98 health, I dare say he's going to still be pretty happy.
For sure, so that's going to be something to look out for. But for now, I'm gonna hop on over to Temple. I'm not sure if we know by now what the Namzi is, but I think if it was Mage Namzi, we would know. So for now, we'll be... Okay, there it is. Evoker Namzi is in this lobby. So it will not be a Mage Namzi unless the Mage Spat gets slammed. How are you feeling about this point?
Yeah, so, you know, will he choose to go towards Astral here? I mean, it's probably not, right? That's the... But if you're going the Mage Spat, generally there's only really 2 options, I feel, to that and Lagoon. Maybe, like, I feel like sometimes you do see, what is it, Grave Seraphine, where you might chuck a Mage Hat, on top of your Zyra. But either way, from what we've seen so far tonight, the success people have been having with Lagoon does make me think he is going to keep heading in that direction. Yeah,
that's definitely a very smart step, I would say. So having those Lagoons stack up, and in the end, get that Mage Cap on to another caster like the Zyra that you mentioned will definitely be helpful. Could also go to a second dragon like an Ashen, like an Aesol, depending on where this board is running to. But for now, Lagoon's looking really good for Temple here. And I'm just staring at the right side of the screen where Huey Dewey Louie is on 100 HP win streak, while the rest of the lobby already, like, some of them have lost a bunch of HP. So Yush on 66 in 2-7.
That's pretty low. That's pretty damn low. You know, and this isn't a Cursed Crown player, you know, taking extra damage or something like that. I'm trying to think if we saw his board at any point. Like, is that straight open forting? Like, is that how he's managed to get down that low?
Maybe we can check in with Yush and see what exactly is going on there. I'm not sure. Ooh, there was a Zaya in the shop. But that's the Astral. So he probably leveled very late and therefore lost a bunch.
We did see him just get to 5 now in 3-1. So you're right. Yeah, he probably was going down, playing down a unit for, most of that second stage. Okay, so he's got a couple of items slammed onto Nidalee here. The Twitch is there, so that's kind of making me think, is he perhaps heading towards a Zaya board or something like that? It doesn't feel like he's going for that endgame Astrals board, or you'd probably see some more itemization on, going around, say, Lux and Varus.
It might just be that. So my idea is we are holding the Lux on the bench for now, and the items aren't great. So maybe the idea is just to run, that Nidalee and carry her into late game, because that Nidalee 3 could do something for you. But we're also not on that Nidalee 3, so it's just, right now I'm missing a little bit of direction coming through from Yush here, but maybe these augments will give us that. So first aid kit, blue battery, and electrocharge. Blue battery being something players often pick, very beloved augment for anything AP, really. But we're gonna see where he goes.
Yeah, but he's got the Bloodthirster slam there, so depending on where he ends up, that could be one. Okay, Electrocharge is the choice. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, the 2 items on Nidalee, I think, are really what we need to be focusing on here in terms of where that could lead him, and definitely some of our other friends behind the scenes are suggesting that it could be Soifin or Graves and Seraphine, which do seem like probably the 2 most likely options and the ones that make the best use of what he's slammed already.
Yeah, and with that, I think the Electrocharge also makes sense if you are aiming to go into the Jade angle. If you're trying to slam these on Xiao Yu, then of course the blue battery is not going to do you so many favors, so probably a good idea to go there, but needs to find some Jade units sooner or later if that's what the direction is. And yeah, we will see if he can find some wins in the next couple of rounds. But while that's going on, I'm just staring across the board to see where everybody else is on. We did see one player rise above that 100 HP, which is usually a pretty strong indicator for somebody picking up that Tiny Titan. So Obu running that, giving him a little bit of extra HP. And you can see it in the screen, you can see it in the chat. There is a giveaway going on right now for a Sanctuary Gardens chest, so !chest in the chat to take part. I think you can't purchase Zeus anymore, so a very cool thing to give away. A yoink, maybe the Turtle Arena, if you're so lucky. I'd love that. We could just get that, but we'll see. So that is definitely something that you should take part in. We're gonna hop on over to Omni and Temple, who are fighting it off right now.
Yeah, one of the coolest boards for sure. Let's see a lot of people in chat getting behind that. We see a Graves picked up as well. Just had that option in the shop and was like, hey, well, may as well just slam that in. But really, it's a lot of this is going down to the Goldmancer staff in the corner there. Hasn't been able to pop too much gold out, unfortunately, this round. But still will get the win over Temple. Also picking up Cybernetic Uplink there as the second augment. I think that is one of the best augments when you're going for the Graves Seraphine option. So, maybe the fact that he's found the Graves now says that, that is enough direction to sort of, put your foot on the accelerator and just keep going that way.
Yeah, I think keeping going is a good idea for all of these players, right? So Huidui, Luya, Omni, and Obu all up there looking really healthy. Just try to accelerate the gold, try to go fast forward. Now, in that carousel, we just saw Percy already being on that level 7 while everybody else is just getting to level 7 right now. You could see it on the right side of the screen. Yosh hitting that Varus 2 finally as well. So I'm keen to see what Percy is on, but for now we are on Obu's board, still running that Cluttered Mind. getting that little bit of extra XP. And it does have a Varus, but will not stay with that. It's probably looking to go to Zaya here, and I love that.
He's going up against the Darkflight Essence player. Doesn't feel like they've actually managed to upgrade their board all that much. I mean, we saw them, I think it was maybe even at 2-1, and they had like a somewhat similar board to this. You know, you got the Rengar. Sure, he's managed to drop the second Rengar in there now, but it's still enough for this Darkflight player, Huijulu, to come out and take the dub there. So Omni now pushing Obo further down. Considering, you know, he had that 30 HP buff, Omni still sitting strong on 96. And it just feels like anyone who's having a streak that big at the start of the game, like, are you almost just, like, certain to see them end up in Dragons at some point?
Yeah, that is actually true. So unless you're really re-rolling into something, Dragons will probably be the end of it. But keep in mind, we just saw Obu was on a very strong indicator to go into those Rage Wings, find the Zaya, Shyvana, something like that later on. We just hopped over to Percy, who is also running Swift Shots, who currently has a front line that is kind of bruiser oriented. But if I saw correctly, there's also a Sichuani in there, and he's running preparation. So that board is very interesting to me. Is this also like a Zaya angle, or where do you take this?
It kind of feels like it, right? You know, I might expect that when he's got those kind of units currently running there. You know, prep can be good for a couple of different builds. Astral being one of them, because you've always got all your units on the board. But I just don't think it's anywhere near strong enough to run in this lobby. So.
Okay, I love that he picked up the Idas, but just as I said that, he sells it off again. So I would have liked that, but it's going to be the Xiaoyu pickup for now. Lots of gold to work with. 72 for now. We'll wait what the Wolves gives him in terms of items to see where it takes him. But that, like, this board to me is a lot of question marks. I can feel the question mark vibe going on, you know? You want to say Zaya, but then there's also not much in terms of Zaya frontline going on that you possibly would want to run.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you know, Sejuani 1's not exactly going to cut it. You know, perhaps picking up the Xiaoyu there is just keeping the options open, and as I say that, of course, he sells it and says, no, I'm going to hard force. So we'll come back later. I'm sure there'll be some Zayas and the rest of it's keeping going there. We had a Zoe pick up. Okay, that's really nice here for Omni. We saw he was checking out what the second Shimmer Scale item was, and it was Draven's Axe. But, you know, yeah, it might have just been checking. Says, no, that's not exactly what I wanted, so he'll go back to 4, keep the rest of the board. Yeah,
we're gonna see if maybe the Draven's Axe comes back later, because it is a very popular Shimmer Scale item. So holding that Zoe for now. Omni just really hitting, I have to say, basically everything, but I'm not sure it's enough, as he's currently facing off against Huijulu, who now has found the Swain, and Swain is just a one tanky beast to actually knock over. So last augments coming through here, and we are watching Omni. What are we going to go with here? Guardian, maybe? Possibly Titanic Strength? Or scope weapons. All of these are like semi-nice.
I think semi-nice is a semi-nice way to put that mix. I was kind of cringing at the options myself, to be honest. But they are going for a Guardian spat. You know, he's certainly got a... you know, he doesn't even have like high star rank Guardians there, which means they're not even getting a huge amount of that, you know, percentage health buff out of that. But like maybe that was just the best of the options with what he was given there, which weren't fantastic, I don't think. Seeing a bit of a pivot here from Obo. Ooh, did manage to pick up a champ duplicated. That's nice. Ooh, does get some magic crit. The jeweled Lotus for his third augment as well, so that's really, really good when you consider, you know, he's got Siphon there, because of course it also buffs the true damage as well as the magic damage.
Okay. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm a little bit surprised at the pivot, but for now, Ubu is still healthy enough to take a few more losses. The only thing that's worrying me is the lack of gold. So we are on 4 gold. We're playing down 1 augment, so no tiny titans. That's already been chewed through. And it's only the jeweled gauntlet as board strength option that Ubu has as option. And then the colored mine should ideally get him to level 9, but it will take a while. So going to see how that one works out for Ubu. Hopefully it'll all go well, but I'm a little bit scared about one player. And you know, I'm sure you can tell which one it is just looking at the HP totals. There's one that's a little bit far off the camp. He's wandering off into the woods. Can we get him back?
Yeah, will he find his way out? Well, that's a big question at this point. Yoshi's been down the bottom the entire time. He's now at 20 health. You know, will he even see his treasure dragon is a question we have to ask, and that's an ugly one to be asking in a tournament here. But look, it's the top lobby. He's had a decent day so far, I guess, at least in the first 2. And someone's got to go 8th in this top lobby here. He loses again. He's down to 7. Oh, man.
Actually, Obo managing to find a win here with that Siphon, just casually knocking out those 2 remaining enemies. That was really impressive skills from that Siphon punches, Shio-Yu punches. But yeah, I need to check in with Yosh. I'm a little bit worried. They might not make it to, like you said, the Treasure Dragon. We're going to check in with them in just a second. But for now, some options here. The Nyla would be interesting to a Lagoon player, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, we had the Yasuo there as well, right? I feel like Yasuo is always the first unit to get picked off that 4th carousel. Like, it doesn't seem to matter if you're playing them, you know, if the item matters to you, whatever. It's just like everyone's always straight beelining for the Yasuo. You know, they don't pick it up in shop. Actually, no, sorry, they did pick it up in shop there, as we can see.
That one hurts.
Oh.
You can see that he's just 1 gold short to find that Siphon. So do you sell the Shio-Yu, or do you lock the shop with 7 HP on your totals? He dares to go into the game, slams the Sunfire, and is going to meet with Percy.
No! And his Shio-Yu gets Zephyred as well. Alright, you better hope that Edge of Night and the Bloodthirster come in to save his bacon here. They're onto the back line at least. They've managed to get through, and of course they're going up against Swift Shot, so the closer they get, the worse the Swift Shots get. Is he going to be able to do enough damage? There's the shield coming through from the Bloodthirster to just try and make this happen, but the stun from Varus is too much, and Yash is going to go down before he even sees stage 5.
That was rough. Because, like, at that point, right, you could theorize on selling something off to keep both of them and then having that Siphon too, but I'm not sure in the end it would have made the difference. He just bled so much throughout the entire early game, and like you said, somebody has to come 8th. That's just how the cookie crumbles. And we are currently on the board of Aaron, who is running those Lagoon Mages. Just found that Nyla too. Lots and lots of items on the bench that are waiting to be slammed.
Yeah, you can see, you know, Aaron, of course, has a little bit more, you know, a little bit more time to think about this as his son does get Zephyred. But he's going to wait for that Treasure Dragon to see what the most optimal combination of items is. Has the health to be able to do that, unlike, you know, we can't say that, unfortunately, for everyone in the lobby.
Yeah, and unfortunately that Soam will not be enough to take face to that fully itemized Varus of Percy, and slowly but surely players are losing health. We are into the Treasure Dragon. It's gonna be an average old Treasure Dragon here once again for these players. Aaron just going with the first pick. Gonna see if something else is going on that could be interesting. We talked about the Nomzi earlier on. Currently over on Omni's board, he does have 1 shimmer item.
Oh. And you can see how much gold he's made through this game. He's just gone to level 9 at 4-7. Wow. Okay. And even sold the... just sold his... I mean, he had a Zoe earlier, but then he I've forgotten him. The guy with Wither. The guy with the big stick. Come on, help me out, Max.
The guy with the big
Nasus,
stick?
that's the one. He had the Nasus on the board. The point I was trying to make was he could have gone for 7 shimmer scale.
Jax right there, and I was like,
That's true. A lot of people do, tread lightly and carry a big stick in.
You meant the Woofy boy.
In League of
Okay.
Legends. Yeah, but he doesn't want to go shimmer scale, or at least he doesn't want to go that hard into the shimmer scale. He does seem to be transitioning towards one of those capped out dragon boards, as we were, we did predict this earlier on, right? So he's going to stick with 6 shimmer scale just for the moment, which gives him, the Goldmancer's staff there on his ASOL, which is very helpful. And we're also seeing that Percy finally found not only the Xayah, but he got the guild emblem as well.
Yeah, that last augment for Percy really doing him all the favors, but will it be enough? He actually manages to take out a DA Soul before everything explodes in her face. That Xayah coming in super clutch. But if I'm not mistaken, okay, I am mistaken. I was hoping after that Rengar 2 from Huey, Dewey, Louie, we would see the Rengar 3 show up, but we aren't that far yet. But something else is going on, Genome. I see a scary dragon.
That's an Ao Shin with some pretty damn good items. Yeah, I mean, Shogun's Archangels, and then, we did have the Goldmancer staff there as well, but now pivoting even further out of the shimmer scale, right? Because it's a dead gold augment, but it doesn't matter because you've got to 9 so fast. You've got to this really capped board so fast that you can afford to be, not using that extra augment.
Yeah, I mean, that really, really hurts for now, not where you want to be. And then, of course, it is a little bit a match of the 1-star dragons. So is able to take out the ASOL once more before it gets that final cast through. So Kate will be able to hang on in here against Omni, but it's very close. Errant now down to 3 HP, while Omni finds that Chio U2, but Errant really needs to find something here. We just got notice that Percy in this lobby is going level 9 with 50 gold, so probably in the best position as of right now. And Errant on the other side is probably in the worst position right now. Didn't find a lot of upgrades going through here still on that Sohm angle, but would like to have that Zyra too, would like to have that Vladimir too. Hasn't managed to go to level 9, so is a little bit behind players like Omni, who he's facing right now. Gonna see how this one goes.
Oh, the lineup though for that first Sohm shot was very good. Does manage to blow up a couple of things here. The front line is looking a little worse for wear, but as soon as this Ao Shin starts getting the cast off here, ASOL should I say, doesn't hit the right units though, and that does mean Aaron lives to fight another day. I mean, I was looking at that champ duplicator on the bench there, Makes, and just wondering, what is he possibly going to use that for? He's hit 2-star for the big units there. It's like, do you really want to use that to make like a Zyra 2? Like where is that going?
So something we sometimes see with Lagoon Mage sports, and I feel like we could see the potential strength in just that matchup as well, is people looking to upgrade the Nyla. Because it's usually not very contested unless you're running a lobby where several people are playing Lagoon Mages. So if that's your next point, if you're not looking to go to level 9, then Nyla 3 is probably your best chance at making this board as strong as it can be. We just saw her strength on the enemy ASOL in the backline. She has that access, and somebody else that apparently has access is Percy Jackson, finding the Shyvana, finding Zippy, finding anything and everything you could wish for. 8 guilds now on the board with that Xayah, and just look at the beautiful items he has that he can slam on these units. I mean, what else are you wishing for?
He needs to get them on there quickly. He's still got 4. The Trap Claw doesn't come to anything this time, but look, Percy Jackson, he's got 50 health left. He's coming up against poor old Aaron, who's barely scraping by here. I say poor old Nyla has actually managed to find this backline and do very well. And, Oh, there we go. Just manages to take them out there. So a little bit late with slamming those items. I reckon actually probably would have made the difference. I mean, look how close that fight was.
Yeah, and that's what I meant, right? So that Nyla, 3 items, 4-cost unit, really coming in as secondary carry next to the Sohm, and it's just so good that I can really see him maybe pursue that Nyla 3. He doesn't have a lot of gold for now. Aaron is the one we're talking about, just so you don't get confused. But yeah, it's going to be a tough ride to get there. For now, Percy Jackson just rearranging a little bit, finding that Jace 2, big upgrade for this board, just a little bit of more tankiness. And then the 1 unit he's really looking for, actually 2 units, Zippy and Shyvana, right? Those are the ones you want, you need. And of course, he has Future Sight, so gonna slam that Zephyr last second to make sure the enemy does not get away with anything here. There will be the Bard Old right onto the enemy Aushin. Asol, now I'm saying it too. But the Xayah coming through clutch here. She's gonna take out the front line. Will she be able to take out the Asol though before it hurts her so much? Yes, she will. Percy finds another win against Omni. Yeah, we should just both call them Asol. Aosol.
It does hit the Shyvana too, though. Yeah, look, I'm gonna blame the Asol there because they were kind of like hiding their face with the items. It's like a really shy dragon that doesn't want to, you know, show you who it is.
Yeah.
It's a little bit easier when they're the person we're spectating rather than the person they're coming up and fighting against. Either way, a Shyvana 2 is going to be a big upgrade here, and you saw them actually pass over quite a few Xayahs, so they weren't looking for the Xayah 3 as their win condition here. I think it's exactly as you said. They just want to get those dragons a bit healthier and a bit... Okay, I got really stressed there because they left that buy of the Shyvana until like the very last second.
So the thing is, there was another Xayah in the shop, so he's now bought that one, and of course getting another preparation stack is also really nice to get that on the Shyvana. So getting the extra shop lock there for him. But we hopped on over to another player, and it's Ovo. Now, not far off of the level 9. Last time we checked in with him, he barely had any gold, but he's all made that back for now. 8 win streak in round 6-1. That's something that you need to respect. So let's see how this 5 Jade 4 Whisper board of Soifin really does here.
Well, Siphon's in the back line. It's only up to him now after Xiaoyu has gone down. The one last charge is not even going to get it in to close that one out, and there is the win streak completely gone, and Yush is looking on very jealously right now because this was, of course, the exact board that he was trying to build before he went out in stage 4, and Obo's managed to do that a lot more successfully. You can see the items on those two, fantastic. You know, even the fact that he's got the chalice there in between them to combine that with the jeweled lotus really means that there's some big damage coming through from these dragons.
Yeah, and while Obu is on the cluttered mind, it's not necessarily what you would normally hold on your bench that we're seeing here. There's 2 Siphons, there's a Swain, there's a Xiaoyu. It's just a lot of really high cost, expensive units that if he wanted to sell them, they would give him so much gold as well. So not worrying too much about getting a little bit of HP knocked down here for now, but the rest of the lobby is slowly but surely decimating. Aaron was knocked out a little bit earlier, Temple in the previous round, and we are down to our top 4. All eyes on Omni and his board, and if that can do well here. There's a Terra still fighting against that Swain, and another Aphelios in the back, and Terra doesn't even want to turn around here. Solo, beefy boy, but Omni survives.
I mean, you know, look, they might not have the augmented, but it looked like Terra was just throwing a tantrum there, doing damage to no one in the middle of the board, and then wandering over to die afterwards. Yeah, look, Obo has just hit... I think he's just managed to hit level 9 with like 60 gold or something like that. Just taking his time to get there. It was not rushed at all, not worried. such a patient and powerful move there at the end. And you could just see he's obviously rolling down now that he's got those extra odds. And he's just finding unit after unit. You can see there that must be, what, a spare, Siphon 2 and a spare Xiaoyu 2 looking to get those 3-star dragons, which would be an absolutely giant win condition for him.
Yeah, so the way Omni has set up this board is really, really unfortunate going into Obo. The Siphon just completely charged into the backline, followed by a Bard ult, followed by the Xiaoyu into the face of the backline. It was really, really tough to get anything out there, and I don't think these Xiaoyus can battle it out. It will be a win for Obo. Nani's going to get knocked out 4th here, down to our top 3.
And that is going to make it even easier for Obo. Apparently Omni was holding 3 Xiaoyus, so that just puts more back into the pool and gives him that chance to find that real endgame spike here as we get a look at our 6th round carousel. Options coming through. We've got the nerfed item there, Protector's Vow, but we're going to put the second one, of course, onto that Hecarim. Everyone loves that on Hecarim. Just means he gets that first cast off even sooner. So that's an insta-cast now with Hecarim getting the stun straight away. You know, that followed up by the Shyvana stun. That followed up by the Bard ultimate as well. Honestly gets a bit oppressive.
Yeah, like, these boards are slowly but surely capping out, and we can see it. Percy is holding some Hecarims, holding some extra Xayah copies, is on level 9, doesn't go anywhere from here. All augments have come through, so it's only about upgrading what you have at this point. And Huey really has done a great job at that, and I see something that is scary on the enemy bench as well. He is 1 Swain short of Swain 3. Wow.
Yeah, well, talking about Swain going infinite.
Wow.
It's going to be very, very hard to kill him at that point, right? But now we see this Rengar 3 coming out for the dub here. Yeah,
Holy
look, as you
moly.
say, and he's not even up to level 9 either, right? But you don't really need to be if you've got a Rengar 3 and a Swain 3 at that point. Who wins, actually? Here's the real question. Who wins? Who wins out of Swain 3 and Xiaoyu 3?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're going to see it play out in real time. So far, neither the Xiaoyu nor the Swain 3 have been hit, but both look rather close. We are seeing it right now. This is Obo's board, of course, that we are seeing on the opposite side of the bench. He's also holding 1 Swain, just noting that. But he's 2 Xiaoyu short of the Xiaoyu 3. So both of these dragons is super, super big upgrades. And you can see the Rengar putting in some of the word, as Frosty called him, the stabby tabby, just jumping around, doing its best, taking out the Xiaoyu, but I'm not sure the Aphelios can do anything against a Siphon here. So Huey will take a loss here. Now the question is, does he roll for the Swain after this PvE round, or does he just chill and try to look for something else?
I mean, we're going deep into stage 7 here with 3 players still left alive. That's kind of nuts here. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the items these guys are picking up. I mean, Redemption. I guess you could chuck that on the Swain, right? Potentially, if you wanted to. As we were noting before, if Swain's going to be your last unit left alive, it is okay to have him triple itemized because he's still getting those stacks. So that might not be a bad option. We do start seeing the rolling down here. Also a Graves 3 option here. So both, absolutely massive spikes if he can hit. Come on, everyone in chat, get the hands up, get the praise.
Being the keyword, he's rolling down all the gold. The only 3-star he is able to find is the 3-star of Aphelios for now. So waiting for the 3-star Swain still. Love to see that. Hasn't happened thus far. Graves 3 would also be okay.
Graves 3 would be fantastic. I feel like he almost didn't want the Aphelios 3 because that means he's getting, like 1 less Dark Flight essence from having that extra Dark Flight unit on the board. Will that affect him here? You can see the Swain goes down way too early, and it's all up to Rengar pretty much at this point. The Aphelios 3 in the background. Okay, now they've gotten through that. Not going to be doing much on his own. He's pretty clutch, but you take so much player damage. You know, the base damage that you take at stage 7 bumps up. I think it's like 15 or something to start with. So that means Obo is going to fall down to 2 health. But 3 players still alive at 7-2. This is one of the longest games of TFT I've seen in a competitive setting.
Yeah, it's definitely very crazy, and it's all eyes on Ubu basically as he is rolling down. You can see he's 1 copy short of the Xiaoyu. No gold in the tank, doesn't have anything he can do with here, so 2 Xiaoyu 2s are equipped in battle to fight it off against Percy's board. The Shroud of Stillness not going to be hitting a lot here. Soraka can cast unhindered, but will she? The Shyvana slams down on the battlefield, annihilates the enemy backline, and with it goes down Obu. And Huey! What?
Okay, out of nowhere. It was a little bit. I thought we were going to get at least a 1 more